So here we are doing another one of our Tea Party guides to Washington. We're not actually in Washington today. We're in a neighborhood called McLean, Virginia, which is a very upper middle class suburb of Washington. And we're in a cul-de-sac called Highland Glen. You can see how it dead ends there. Anyway, and there's this beautiful tree. I love these trees that are the foliage is not actually green. The interesting thing about Highland Glen, actually it looks like it's Highland Glen Place, is that it's, as you can see, a neighborhood that has expensive houses. My suspicion is there's not a whole lot here under 900,000, and if I checked, it might actually be more like a little over $1 million. And what's really interesting about it is that if I check the zip code here, it's either 22101 or 22102 on the city data website. I think we would discover that this neighborhood is well over 90% Caucasian, and the remainder is Asian, that there are virtually no black or Hispanic people here. Now, if I actually load this up onto YouTube, I will check and put in the narration whether I was wrong or right, but my suspicion is that we're talking about a neighborhood that's less than 2% African American. Because closer into town in Arlington, where Washington Post columnist Eugene Robinson lives, there are zip codes, the one he lives in, that are less than 2% African American. So what's really interesting about it is this house, which has the nice American flag in front and has a little foliage being chopped up there on the yard, and has this nice, apparently everybody here has an SUV of some kind or another. This house, assuming that the car in front of it belongs to it, has an SUV that is a Lexus. So that's the house. There's a basketball hoop. And it is the home of Paul Begala, a very prominent Democratic strategist, prominent enough that he actually speaks at Democratic events sometimes. He's actually witty. He's much funnier than most Democratic speakers I've heard speak. I heard him speak once at a Barney Frank Fett Shrift. And I don't know that I've heard Paul Begala say lots of nasty things about the Tea Party. But pretty much the whole Democratic establishment does. And Paul Begala is one of the people who helps them formulate their talking points. And this is where he chooses to live. It is a choice where you live, and so far I have not found a single well-to-do Democratic media person or party strategist, from Hilary Rosen to Jay Carney to Chris Matthews to on and on and on and on. Andrea Mitchell, I haven't found a single one who has chosen to live in a significantly integrated neighborhood. The only people who seem to do that out of the world of left-wing people are people who are too poor to, which may just mean that they make less than $80,000 a year, or even $100 and something thousand a year. David Brock, etc. None of these people ever choose to live in an urban neighborhood where there are any people of color. If there are any people of color in the neighborhood, usually they're ambassadors from another country. Apparently there's flooding here at the Paul Begala house. Anyway, he's been at this address for some years, I believe. I actually looked it up long ago when I first started doing a Tea Party blog. So far I've seen two people, both of them seemed sort of nervous by a stranger being on the street, so I did not film them. One was a little white girl in a kilt, home from Catholic school, and she was driving her own SUV, but her mother was the other person I saw who was meeting her there. And I don't know if that means that mom comes home when daughter comes home from school, or if mom is helping her practice drive and so she followed her in the car. I don't know. Anyway, so far I've only seen white people in kilts, home from their Catholic or private school. Oh, this is nice. This is a Purple Martin house. Used to have those where I grew up. It's a kind of house that specifically is built to attract purple martins. I don't think that's what that was, though. I think sometimes starlings and other things get into their houses. Anyway, purple martins are useful and well thought of because they eat mosquitoes. So at least we don't have to worry about Paul Begala, who is actually funnier than most Democrats I've run into.